We will begin lying down, saying that when we start lying down, let us have a quick think about what we might need. There's a good maybe for something to support yourself in a seated position. And it might also be quite beneficial today to have a wall or a cupboard or something that you can put your legs up on nearby as well. So just in case you need to rearrange the furniture in the house, that's what I'm basically asking you to do. So big task to start with, and then we will slow things down again. So having said so, once you've got something to sit on, if you like it, you've got a free wall space, or even for some, if you've got back pain, for example, I mean, this couch is a little bit too low, but it could be nice to, not now, but to rest the legs up like this as well. So finding your arrangements around your place before you find your way onto your back on the mat. And I would ask you to begin our practice today just with the feet touching the ground. The arms can be open and just relaxed. And if this seems like a bit of effort, you can step the feet out wider and let the knees drop in. So more of that constructive resting pose feeling rather than a full shavasana for now. And just allowing yourself to drop into your space. Making all those little movements that we need when we're starting in a reclined position and we haven't really moved. And just noticing what it takes for you to be reasonably comfortable. Warm, of course, as well. As you allow this feeling of restfulness to take over your body, noticing what thoughts you brought to this space today. How you're feeling emotionally. And just acknowledging. And taking a moment to maybe reflect on the last week or the last few days and how you were dealing with the world and with your life in general. As that all lies in the past, that's just an opportunity not to stress out about it, but to just look back and see how we've been responding, what have we been doing. And I'm pretty sure in our current times that we hold one or the other fear within us. And fears are expressing themselves in multiple ways in our daily lives. So we don't have to talk about the huge fears, but also the small ones, those insecurities. I'm not asking you to store them within your body. I'm just introducing you to the idea that this could be present in your life as we're working with fearlessness today. And to begin this process, I would guide you into a very grounding shape, although it is lying down for now. So you might choose to let your left leg slide out long on the mat. And let your right knee roll out to the side. And if that's possible, you can touch the sole of the right foot somewhere against your left leg. As I'm aiming to represent a tree lying down, you could from there bend your elbows and maybe even gently slide your shoulder blades a little bit under. so that the chest is broadening towards the ceiling. And with the arms open and in a bend, the knee dropping outwards, you could use your cushioning as a support underneath the bent knee if required. If that makes you feel more at ease. I'd invite you to hold this shape and to just deepen your breath. Nothing else for now. Just breathing in and out more deeply. If you enjoy full yogic breathing or the Ujjayi technique, please feel free to go ahead with that. We're holding our tree shape, lying on the ground. Well, I might tell you a little bit more about this tree shape in relation to yoga. Since ancient times, yogis have made the forest their favorite place for yoga practice. The trees were their home, providing them with shelter and an abundance of food in the form of fruits and nuts. The forest also symbolized a pristine world that was conducive to a life of contemplation without material possessions. The shade beneath the tree was thought to be the best place for a student to receive spiritual knowledge from a teacher. In fact, among many spiritual traditions, we see examples of enlightenment taking place under a tree. I will pause the explanation around our key posture today, while you might lift your right knee up and allow your knee to roll over to the other side. You can bend the lower leg a little bit as well, and you might carefully roll your gaze over to the right. As you roll again onto your back, stepping both feet down onto the floor again. That feeling of security and safety that we can get from a solid foundation, that we can feel underneath the soles of our feet. As we're sliding the right leg out and letting the left knee fall open to the sides, if possible, touching the sole of the left foot against the right leg. Re-establishing your branches, as you might touch your index and thumbs together again if you let that go. Squeezing your shoulder blades a little bit closer together to open a bit further through the heart space. Again, there's a support that you could place underneath your bent knee to practice with more ease. And if you let go of your breath, come back to it. Let it flow. Maybe belly ribs to collarbones as you in and exhale through the nose, maybe even with that light constriction in the throat. A victorious breath. Feeling into the shape that you've created with the body. In a broader sense, the forest refers to the world of creation, and we are part of it. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna compares the world to a banyan tree with its many branches, where all species of life wander. A forest is vital for the planet's health. The leaves of the trees are the lungs of the world, producing oxygen for us to breathe, while the roots retain water and prevent the soil from eroding. As you tap into the life supporting qualities of the tree, Guiding your left knee up from here and carefully taking it across the body, while you might choose to bend the lower leg gently too, and potentially roll your head to look over to the left. So roll again onto our back, stepping the feet onto the ground, readjusting yourself, being comfortable on the mat, the arms maybe a tad bit away from the body, and you could have your palms facing upwards. We will allow ourselves to move in a very grounding way today, so we can feel ourselves more grounded as well. And with that, maybe stronger in the way we stand in our day. While you're next inhaling, leave the head on the ground, just roll it over to one side. And when you're breathing out, roll the head back into the center. When you're inhaling, rolling the head to the left. When exhaling, bring it to center. And now repeating that a couple more times to each side. Keep it nice and slow. Ideally keeping your deep breath flowing to create a slow pace for this first part of the practice. Once you centered your head again, allow your body to pause for a few breaths. Try and keep your mind here in this practice, and if it helps you see all the different qualities of the tree within your practice. There's a certain amount of flexibility in a tree as it sways potentially in the wind. There's the aspect of nourishing and grounding, of even reaching and opening up to the light. So let us open the arms and breathe in to make some soft fists. And then when you're breathing out, opening the fists and rolling the hands down to touch the ground. Let the arms rotate all the way up into the shoulders. As you're inhaling, roll the arms open, making soft fists. And as you're breathing out, touching the hands down to the ground. Now, if you like, you can add the head as you roll the head to the right, making gentle fists, the arms opening. And as you're breathing out, to touch the hands to the ground and to center the head. While inhaling, open the arms, make fists, roll your head to the left if you like. And with the elbows centering the head, the palms touch the ground. Maybe repeat twice more to each side. Again, using your own breath as the speed in which you're moving, or shall I rather say the slowness in which you're moving. Observe the arms rotating right up towards the shoulders. And then when you complete it, let the arms open again, the shoulders relax, the elbows might soften. Notice how you're feeling now around arms, shoulders, neck. And that leads us into leg movement. So while you flex the right foot, take an in-breath. You can slide the heel down the mat or just above it. And then point your foot as you're breathing out and stepping your foot onto the ground. Flexing the left foot as you're inhaling, let your leg extend out. Point the foot while you're breathing out and step the foot back to the ground. Now, while we repeat that flexion in the right foot extending, keep your pelvis as still as possible. Engage a little bit your abdominal, pelvic muscles to hold that stability in the body. So it's a nice and slow movement. With the inhale, we're extending out and then pointing the foot when exhaling to step it back. If you like, we can now swap over and just do the right side for a bit. As we inhale to extend the leg, there's an option to take this a bit further. As you point the foot, take your hands and squeeze the right knee to the chest. Arms go back down to stabilize as we inhale to push out through the right heel. Then point the foot. And when breathing out, squeezing the right knee into the chest using the hands. Now, if this feels good, please keep that going. But you might as well add a lift of the head and the shoulders and squeeze your nose towards the knee. Then lying back down and taking a breath in as the leg extends out long. We'll point the foot. And with the out breath, all of those variations. For the last one, as we tuck our nose towards the knee. I invite you to repeat for another 2 rounds. Once we completed, releasing the upper body down, we're stepping the right foot to the ground and relaxing the arms, taking a full deep inhale, allowing ourselves a soft sigh out. You might be experience quite significant difference between your left and right side at this stage. So let us begin to repeat with leading with the left leg. So while we are inhaling, foot is flexed, we're extending the leg out. We're pointing the foot. And on the out breath, as we bring the knee in, we'll use our hands to squeeze it into the chest. Flexing the foot, arms by the sides, inhale to extend the leg out slowly, just above or along the floor. Pointing the foot, when you're breathing out, squeezing the knee back in. So we're inhaling to extend the leg. We're pointing to squeeze it in. And maybe lifting the nose up towards the knee from now. On the inhale, extending, the foot is flexed as if you're pushing out through the heel, pointing the foot, and then on the out breath, hugging the knee in, maybe lifting the nose towards the knee. Keep going for 2 more. Whenever you've completed your last round, lower your upper body, step the foot to the ground, release your arms. As you allow the lower body now to rest, placing your fingertips upon your shoulders. And let's start to rotate the shoulders. as if you were drawing circles with your elbows into the air. Noticing in which direction you're currently moving. And pause when your elbows are touching, just to then roll them in the other direction. When you complete it and the elbows are touching again, also now release hands from your shoulders. If you can, keep your forearms, elbows touching, and touch the palms of the hands together like Anjali Mudra. When we're inhaling now, making fists again, open the arms out like branches or cactus style. And as you're exhaling, bring the forearms, elbows, palms to touch again over the body. As you're inhaling, open the arms with gentle fists. And as you're breathing out, touch the arms and palms. Do so once more. But here's also an opportunity to just continue what we're doing right now. As we inhale, we're making fists again, even if you want to take this further, because we'll still bring the arms together, but maybe lift the upper body and squeeze the elbows towards the tummy. As you're lying back, inhale, open arms, gentle fists. Exhaling, as you touch together, squeeze in as you lift your upper body. Inhaling, open, gentle fists. Exhaling, either just touch or squeeze it up and in. Going for 3 more if that lies within your practice. You can always step back to just moving the arms if you prefer. Once you've completed your 3, you will lie back down onto the floor. We're opening the arms again. You might lightly squeeze your shoulder blades under once more so the chest is nice and open. Allowing your feet to touch the edges of the mat, so nice and wide, and please do adjust if it doesn't suit. As you allow your knees to roll all the way over towards the left-hand side. You could choose to roll your gaze again towards the right. And then allowing yourself to stay here for a few breaths. Breathing deeply as you begin to expand your body and lightly contracting through the lower abdomen on the out breath. Very gentle tummy pull in. It was our last breaths on this side. Turn your head to center. Use your core to bring your knees up. And carefully let them roll over to the right-hand side now. Take your time. If it feels good, turn the head to look over to the left. Allowing the knees to fall into that position as much as they allow you to. And begin your deep breathing again. Expand the body. Feel the breath nourishing you. And the out breath very softly extending your lower abdomen. Playing on the element of strength of the tree as we tuck in. Tapping into the nourishing oxygen for our bodies that the trees provide us with. Last breath like this on this side. And then using our core again to take our knees back into center. I would love you to return to our very first tree experience, where the left leg comes out long and the right knee falls out to the side, touching the sole of the right foot, maybe not quite as high as usual, maybe a little bit lower, and unlike the standing posture, it could even rest against the knee. We will take our hands away from branches and touch them onto the lower abdomen. We're taking an inhale here. And as we're breathing out, we're trying to lift the upper body, looking down towards the base, the trunk of our tree. As we inhale, we're lying back. You might breathe out of the mouth as you're lifting. Have another 3 if they work for you. You can always support the head gently, one hand behind the head if need be. Last time to lift. As you lie back, let the arms open once more. Slide your left foot, touch it to the right. Maybe both knees open for a breath or 2. Before you slide your right leg out long and let the sole of the left foot rest against the right leg in a relaxed manner. Placing both hands back towards the lower abdomen. We're inhaling through the nose, exhaling maybe out of the mouth as we're lifting head, shoulders, looking down to the roots of the tree. On the inhale, lie back. Exhale. Lift. Have 3 more. And once we've completed our last one, I'll ask you to open the arms again, to slide the legs out long, and then to relax the body briefly. Just noticing how you're feeling. Where can you feel energy moving through your body? If you like to get into a vigorous sit-up, you could do so with me. If you prefer that to be gentle, just roll over to your side, join us seated. But if you want to be vigorous, let's lift the arms over the head, hook up the thumbs, take a deep breath in. Swing yourself up to sit and then release the arms. As we take ourselves now into an easy pose, I suggest you might want to have a support underneath, such as a cushion or a block. I suggest we practice a few rounds of a very simple chant using a fearless mudra. So for that, we will place our right hand kind of just a little bit higher than the shoulder with the palm facing forward, as if that was a stop sign. We'll place our left hand facing upwards, even down into the lap if you like, or just underneath the navel. Close the eyes for a moment and allow yourself to feel into the mudra itself. You could even imagine, as you're holding the mudra, living without any fear at all. Wouldn't that be more expansive, more limitless? You could be free. That's what this mudra is about. It helps us to remove fear from the mind and replace it with inner peace. These fears could include stress, anxiety, and daily worries. By showing the hand is empty as we hold it up, we're showing friendship and peace. This gesture stops the pressures of the outside world from entering our minds. We will add a few seed sounds to this mudra as we hold. So with the next breath, we will inhale and we will chant Om as our universal sound. Lam, Vam, Ram. So these are the seed sounds of the first 3 energy centers or chakras. We will do so for only 3 rounds before we sit with the mudra again. So let us breathe in and out. Then inhale for our first round. Om Lam Vam Ram. Om Lam Vam Ram. Last round. Om Lam Vam Ram. As we release this mudra for now, let your hands come to rest onto your legs and slide the leg that is in front, whichever one that is, out long while you're maintaining a nice and tall seat as we inhale. And then on the exhale, just turning towards the bent knee in whichever direction that might be. You can take a hold of the leg with the hand or get the back of the hand against it. So turning into a twist. If you like to expand yourselves more and you're feeling confident to do so, place the back hand onto the ground and take a big breath in to lift your hips off your support and reach the opposite arm over the head. Before you gently take your seat again, and we're changing the legs around. You might have to adapt a little bit on your support depending on what that might be. So the other leg is out long. We're sitting up nice and tall, breathing in. And then with the exhale, coming back into a twist. Hand touching or back of the hand against the leg. Other hand fingertips behind as we go into that twist. Keeping the extended leg quite active. And the same option then on the other side, only if it feels right. Lean weight into the back hand or a fist. Push yourself off your support. Maybe reach the other arm over the head as you're extending yourself. And this time we can land either on our support or remove it as we come down to sit. I'm inviting you to swing the feet over and find your way now up onto your hands and your knees. Let us spread out the hands as we come onto an all-four stance. Simple cat-cow movement for a few rounds as you soften your elbows, lifting your tail and your gaze on the inhale. And then straighten the arms and deeply round your back on the exhale. So let's do that a few times. Soft elbows, tail gaze rising as you inhale. And strong arms as you're rounding the back on the exhale. Keep that going, 3 more. You could add an out breath from your mouth. Before you find yourself on your all four stands again. With that more solid stance, let us extend out through the right leg. Push out a bit through the right heel. And as you're breathing out, let's use our left hand to squeeze the knee into the chest. And then land the hand again as you inhale, extend it out. On the exhale, help with the opposite hand to squeeze the knee up to the nose. Only one more. This time leave your hand on the ground and instead aim with your foot between your hands. Please help the foot there if required. We will push ourselves off the ground and we're opening the arms up like the branches of the tree we had lying down. Leaving the elbows in a bend, you might touch your index and thumbs together. And if that feels good, you could extend the shape just by tucking the toes under and lifting the knee off the ground if that's you. No obligation to do so. You can practice that all the way on the knee. As we squeeze the shoulder blades together further, lean the body a little bit to the front. For those of you that have healthy shoulders, you can extend both arms towards the front as you're inhaling, and then squeeze the shoulder blades back together as you're exhaling. And we could do that twice more, inhaling to reach, exhaling to squeeze. Once again, inhale and exhale. Then release the hands back down onto the mat. Step onto all fours and breathe out for your cat. Releasing that to a neutral spine as we begin the same movement with the left leg. So while we're extending out through the left heel, take an inhale. And then as we're breathing out, the knee comes in. Take a hold of the knee with the right hand, squeeze knee nose together. As you land the hand down, extend out through the left leg. Breath out, tuck the knee in, hug it in. And then one more without the hand as we bring the knee forward, landing our foot between the hands or helping it there. Lift up from the feet. Open the arms, index and thumbs might touch, elbows could be bent. And let's squeeze the shoulder blades a little as we begin to lean the body a bit forward. Now same here, if you feel that's appropriate for you, extend both arms forward as we're inhaling. And then bend the elbows and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhaling, reach forward. Exhaling and squeeze. One more round. This time, as we release our hands down, we will all lift the back knee off the floor and step the foot towards the front. Let your hands slide up as we have a half lift. And then folding back down on the out breath. Start to curl yourself up to stand from here. Let your shoulders come back as you rise to stand. Turn the palms of the hands forward. And we will take a step back with our left foot. Just taking that foot a little bit out towards the side and bringing a bend into the front knee. So we've got a warrior one stance here. We'll come to the same arms that we just used in our lunge, and you can again touch index and thumbs together. So what we're doing here is to lean forward a little bit as well, but keep yourself deeply anchored down into the outer edge of your back foot. And while you breathe in, both arms might reach long. And we can squeeze the shoulder blades together again. 2 more, inhaling for a reach. Exhaling for the squeeze. Breath in. Breath out to hold. Now, while you shift your weight towards the front foot, take the back foot up and place it into a tree form. You can help the foot to come all the way up if you choose to, but you could also keep it on the ground, maybe anywhere, just not against your knee. If your branches feel quite nice as they are, hold them like that. If you prefer to extend them upwards, you could, and you could even come out of balance for this. As the next inhale comes, still stay here. And then pull the right hand in front like a stop sign, and the left hand back underneath the navel. A fearless mudra. We will hold this mudra as we step our foot back onto the ground, and then we're releasing the arms down. Close the eyes for a deep breath in, and a long soft sigh out, releasing any tension you might have built just by holding a balance. We will now step back with the right foot. Again, keep that foot a little bit out to the side, bring a bend into the front knee so we can stand nice and solid like a warrior one. And from there, we'll go back into the branches, so the cactus arms and index and thumbs could touch if you choose to. Finding your solid stance in the ground, arches of your feet lifted. Minding any pats that creep up between your legs. And then leaning the body a little bit forward. Support that with lower belly. And here's your movement. As we inhale, we might reach the arms forward. And as we exhale, squeezing the shoulder blades back. 2 more, inhaling to reach. Exhaling to squeeze back. One last time, inhale. Exhale to squeeze back. And while we're holding that, we're leaning the weight into the front foot, sliding or stepping the other foot up as we come into our tree on the other side. Wherever you find your foot is good for your balance. You can then choose to extend the arms or keep them like this, or even place the hands to the heart. Whatever feels is the best option. Nice and steady gaze, standing as tall as is possible, right from the foot up to the crown. We'll finish that once more. In the fearless mudra, as you draw the right hand up to face forward and the left hand to rest underneath the navel. We'll hold the mudra as we step the foot down, then we're releasing the arms. Close the eyes again for another deep breath in and a long soft sigh out. I'd ask you now to bend your knees and to just fold the body forward. As your hands might touch towards the floor, let us come to sit. A block is okay to sit on for our seated forward bend, but you might as well roll up the end of your mat or use a cushion instead. So let us begin with the bend of the right knee, and of course we'll place it against the left leg. Make sure that you sit kind of balanced over both sit bones, and your left leg could be in a bend if you need to. Let us take a deep inhale. Fingertips might remain on the ground, and as you breathe out, fold right from your hip. Then release your arms into the position and then lower the head. Allowing yourself to surrender to the shape. I would invite you to lengthen the out breath now, and even to gently play with the engaging of the lower belly on the out breath, making sure that you're releasing and softening pelvic floor and belly as you're inhaling. If you feel you want a deeper extension into your back, tuck the forehead down towards the knee. Two more breaths. Once completed, walk or curl yourself up to sit and change the legs. Please do walk out your sit bones again so you're able to face the extended leg, whether that's completely straight or has a bend is up to you. Place your fingertips down, lengthen through the spine before you're approaching the forward bend. And then as you're exhaling, folding. Allowing yourself to move forward again from the hips as the upper body lowers. Might start that play again, gently switching the lower belly on as you're exhaling. Relaxing the area when you're inhaling. And again, once the body has eased a bit into the shape, you could encourage the forehead towards the knee, deepening the experience of length across your back. Couple more breaths still. Before we're either walking or rolling ourselves back up to sit. Now I invite you into Viparita Karani or legs up the wall pose. Now I will definitely put my socks back on for that, but depending on how warm it is around you, you might not need to do that. I can also recommend to have your support by the side, just in case you would like to elevate your hips, which could feel very nice. As you sit with the side of the hip towards your wall or cupboard, whatever you're leaning against, then rolling down onto your back so you can place your legs up the wall, shuffling around. This way, when we sit with the side of the hip towards our wall, we're getting quite close with the buttocks towards the wall. And that's quite beneficial when we think about how the legs are positioned so they can be relaxed. Now, if you feel an elevation of your pelvis might be nice, step the soles of the feet against the wall, squeeze a bit into your buttocks as you're lifting your hips up. Place your support underneath and then find its place as you keep your legs up. I suggest to begin in a variation of a fearless mudra, as we might touch our left hand to the lower abdomen and reach the right hand into the stop sign, resting by your right side. If you don't like the mudra, there's no problem with that. You could just rest both hands to your lower abdomen if you choose. And if you would like to stick with our tree experience, you could even let your left knee slide down and bend, while the right leg might rest extended. If this is uncomfortable, no reason why you couldn't have both legs extended. Keep yourself resting in this way. Eyes either steady or closed. You might decide to form an affirmation in your mind. As you could just simply repeat, I am fearless. Or you could encourage yourself to a very specific idea around fearlessness that you might require in your life right now. While you keep that in mind, you might keep your mudra. You would just change your legs around. If you had one knee bent, that is, you would now bend the other and keep the opposing leg against the wall. Staying potentially with your affirmation about fearlessness. Well, you might keep this affirmation with you. Open both arms out back into branches. You might extend both legs back up the wall. And you could then bend both knees gently up towards the chest. I suggest we finish that in a full Shavasana. So roll over to your favorite side. Rest there in a fetal position for a moment. And then maybe just sliding yourself into a resting pose on your mat. And there could be some cushioning now under the head, under the knees. There could be a blanket covering you if you hadn't already built a tent around your legs. And once you are resting on the ground comfortably, either your gaze is then being steady or the eyes are closed. Experience yourself as that whole being here, not held back by any daily fears. As you are confident and strong, tall like a tree, flexible around life's circumstances, while grounded. As you let your breath become soft and relaxed, the body is easing into the mat. You could just simply stay with those ideas, or you can choose to listen to a story about the tree. The scripture Harivamsa narrates how Krishna once brought the heavenly Parichata tree, also known as night-flowering jasmine, from Indra's heavenly kingdom as a gift of love for his beautiful queen Satyabhama. Like the tree transplanted from a heavenly planet to a garden outside Satyabhama's palace, Rikshasana, that's the tree, represents the flowering of spirituality in a material environment. In this pose, one foot is rooted deeply into the earthly soil, while the joined palms reach to the spiritual sky, channeling the blessings that come from above. The tree pose offers a beautiful opportunity to meditate on the tree's inherent qualities. Sri Chaitanya, the dancing saint from Bengal, viewed tolerance like that of a tree as a prerequisite for attaining yoga. In one of his famous verses, Chaitanya sings, "Being more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, giving all honor to others, and not to want any honor for oneself. These are the qualities that are necessary for success in yoga." The tree is so tolerant that it even gives shade to the woodcutter who comes to cut it down with an axe. The true yogi freely gives the fruits of spiritual wisdom and love as generously as trees offer us shade, flowers, fruit, and wood. Krishna has a special connection with the forest. He was born and raised in Vrindavan, which means the forest of Vrinda trees. In the Bhagavata Purana, Krishna praises the trees, exclaiming, "Just look at these most fortunate trees of Vrindavan. They have dedicated their lives to the welfare of others. Individually, They tolerate all kinds of natural disturbances, torrents of rain, scorching heat, and piercing cold. But they are very careful to relieve our fatigue and give us shelter. My dear friends, no one is denied shelter by these trees. They supply various kinds of provisions for human society, such as leaves, flowers, fruit, shade, roots, bark, and fuel. The tree pose is a posture in which we imbue body, mind, and breath with the qualities of generosity, tolerance, strength, and balance. And we hold all these qualities within us. We also cultivate fearlessness. Let us return our minds back into the body. Allow awareness back to your breath. The closest connection to the trees. A kind of an energy exchange as we breathe in and out. With the breath a bit more deep, start to move the body gently. Allow yourself all movements required for you to then find your way back to sit. If you can, close the eyes again once you're sitting up. Take on the fearless mudra one last time with the right hand facing forward, the left hand resting, palm facing upwards. We'll just take one deep breath here. One full breath out. Taking in all of the qualities of the tree, including the fearlessness as we touch the hands together at the heart and we allow a subtle bow of the head. From this content place, extending to each other. Namaste.